So, Bleacher Report is saying that the Cincinnati Bengals need to play Myles Murphy. Here's what they said. Myles Murphy, and by the way, in case you want some sour cream, well, that's not sour cream. That's sour cream. More like burnt sour cream. I don't know why the lighting is so... Ugh. Oh my god, my face. Okay, I'm turning off the camera. I gotta fix my lighting, guys. Anyway, Myles Murphy is a great example. His usage has actually been lower over the last 3 to 4 weeks than it was the middle of the season when he made his debut this year. That should change. I think they mean last year. As change, as the Bengals need to find out if he can be a long-term answer in Sam Hubbard's spot for future seasons. Here's the thing. I just don't think he's good. And I think that might be kind of a situation here. Joseph Asai is playing better in his spot. And, you know, what we have learned from a lot of Duke Tobin's draft picks, they haven't quite hit the mark. And that just might be the God's honest truth. He's played 206 snaps this year. Joseph Asai has played 355. And Joseph Asai has been more effective than Myles Murphy this year. It's not like Myles Murphy's playing 5 snaps versus, 500. He's playing a good amount of snaps. It's just he doesn't really get much pass rush. He doesn't really do much this year. Even with that, I mean, again, I know he's a first-round draft pick, but sometimes if a first-round draft pick isn't working out, you can't make them work out. Giving a first-round draft pick more snaps isn't always going to be what's the most effective thing to do. And so far this year, for pass rushing, he's been absolutely atrocious. For tackle, he's been good, other than the Baltimore game. Run defense has been atrocious. And again, if he isn't working out, you just can't force him on the field because you're going to lose. I mean, at the end of the day, whoever, the best player gets on the field. Okay, that's the God's honest truth. The best player gets on the field. And you're not going to put in someone who isn't the best player. And it works like that. Now, Joseph Asai, clearly from the grades, hasn't been doing the greatest, but he's been better in run support. Across the board this year, his grades do not average well. But if we look at his grades versus Myles Murphy, they're better. He's better in defense, run defense, and he's better in, he's not better in tackle, but he's better in pass rush. I mean, what do you want? Do you want the guy who's worse to play? I don't know. And again, I know Myles Murphy is young. He is young. Obviously, Joseph Asai is also on a contract year, so that's another factor. 24.6 years old versus 22.9 years old. But the better player is going to play. And that's just how it works. I mean, I do agree that I think, we need to give more snaps to other guys than Sam Hubbard, because Sam Hubbard's not the future, while some of these other guys could be the future. But I'm at a point where I'd rather see Moma Jagmita get more snaps than Myles Murphy. I'd rather see Cedric Johnson, who's a 6th-round pick, get more snaps than Myles Murphy. Because, I feel like we have seen not the ceiling on Myles Murphy. I'm not sitting here saying he's a bust. I don't think Myles Murphy's a bust. But what I do think is he's definitely not working in our system. He's not. He's, even with this limited more snap count, and again, just because you have limited snap count, he's still getting a good amount of snaps. He's just getting more limited. You gotta produce with them. You gotta show why you're great. You gotta show why, what you're learning in practice is working. I think it's something that Tom Brady said, and it's very true, is that when he was in Michigan, back in college, he was the backup, right? I think he was a backup, but he was a third string, actually, when he first got to Michigan. And he would only get 5 snaps every practice, okay? We're not even talking about a game here. We're talking about just practice. He got 5 snaps per practice when he first was a rookie in Michigan. And he was upset. He was frustrated. He said, I need more snaps. We're not talking about, again, Myles Murphy here getting 200 some odd snaps in the game, or this year so far. We're talking about just in practice. And what the coach told Tom, and Tom said this in the podcast before, he said, if you get 5 snaps, every single practice, you're getting 5 snaps. You make those 5 snaps the best snaps you have ever done. You make sure that those 5 snaps are perfect. You make sure that those 5 snaps are the best thing you have ever seen. And once you perfect those 5 snaps, you're going to get more snaps. Because they're going to see, wow, he's doing amazing with those 5 snaps. And that's what you need to worry about. It's not worrying about, oh, I'm not getting enough snap count. It's how can I make sure with the snap count I'm getting, I am blowing people out of the water. And this is why, again, I think as a lot of Bengals fans, we have complained a lot about Jordan Battle not playing versus not that much about Myles Murphy not playing. Because Jordan Battle has proven that even with limited snap counts, by the way, less snap counts than Myles Murphy this year, he has still produced at a high level. He's not the greatest in coverage, but he's a great run player. He's great in run defense. He's been amazing in run defense. And even last year, 525 snaps, right? Myles Murphy had 305. It's not about your snap count as much. If you're getting no snaps, I agree. You have to give him some snaps. And I agree Sam Hubbard's not the future. But the better player is going to play. And if you show you're a good player, you're going to play. That's kind of how I look at it. Now, there was some issue with, Jordan Battle, personal issue with Lou Anarumo. I don't think there's any issue with Myles Murphy and Lou, based on what I've heard and understand and any source I've seen. There's no issue. So he's not playing. And if you're not playing and it's not a personal issue, there's no process issue, there's no under between the lines issue here, then it just means you're not good. And you're not learning. And you're not playing at the level they need you to play at. That's kind of how I look at it. But should he get more snaps? I think yes, a little bit more snaps, because he is the future. He is a first round pick. We do have him for another 2 years, obviously, in the 5th-year option if we want to. But I think that we need to see a lot of guys get a lot more snaps, right? And this is not just Myles Murphy, right? Last year, and again, look at this. Last year, Joseph Ossai had 177 snaps, 305 for Myles Murphy. This year, Joseph Ossai is taking off because he's in a contract year, and he's trying to get a contract again. You gotta want it, man. You gotta go out there and you gotta want it. And I understand our defense this year has absolutely sucked, but our pass rushing unit has been atrocious. Okay? And Myles, you haven't changed that. And that's just the God's honest truth, man. I can blame the defense all we want. We can blame Lou Anarumo all we want. But you got to go out there. You got to make those set snaps. 206 snaps. You got to make them the perfect snaps. And I mean, week 5, 34 snaps. 32 snaps, week 6. Week 7, 34 snaps. 23, 20, 14, 23. 26. That's 26 opportunities, Myles, for you to be great. That's 23 opportunities for you to be great. If you're not producing, you're not going to get on the field. Football is a game of results. It's a game of straight up, are you good? Are you not good? Are you helping the team? Are you not helping the team? And if the answer is you're not benefiting the team, you're not going to play. It's a very quick turnover industry. That's why, again, he has some merit because he's a first-round pick. He does. That's draft capital. But you only have, let's look at it like a dog leash, right? Kind of mess. I don't know. You have only so much leash. When you're a first-round pick, you have a lot of leash, okay? But every year, if you're not getting better, if you're not producing, if you're not showing yourself, that leash gets smaller and smaller and smaller. If you're like a 5th, 6th, 7th round pick, your leash is very small. It is absolutely a nothing burger when it comes to length of that. But when it comes to, again, the leash of a first round pick, because you have the 5th year option, and this is how you really need to hit on these guys, your leash is very long. Clearly, it's just not working right now. But again, you have time to turn it around, Myles. You do. You have time to take off. But you need to make the most of these opportunities that you get. That's my cup of tea. Tell me down below your thoughts, opinions. See you guys in the next one. Peace.